Hello, everybody. I am King 5 meteorologist Leah Pezzetti. It is Saturday evening at 6 p.m. and I wanted to take some time to dive a little bit deeper into the forecast. Gosh, it has been an active week. We've seen multiple rounds that brought multiple inches of low-level snow, and we're finally going to say goodbye to that snow potential. But as we look forward, we do have some changes heading our way. Clear and cold are going to be the two words of the week. But let's take a quick recap before we look forward. I actually snapped this photo from Snoqualmie Pass today. Gold Creek Pond, it's a lovely hike, really easy. Snowshoed this one with King 5 reporter Connor Board today. I snapped this photo. We had a little bit of active snow there falling at Snoqualmie Pass. It was lovely. I highly recommend getting to this hike because they're actually going to be closing it down for some renovation, and it'll be closed for at least a decade. So get to it this winter, snowshoe if you can. It was lovely. There's lots of fresh snow up there on the mountain, and we're actually going to say goodbye to fresh snow potential as we look forward. Here's a look at some snowfall potentials snowfall recap. These are our observed totals as of Saturday morning. North Bend, which I drove through this morning, saw a whopping 4 inches of snow. That was one of our highest totals for the lower elevations. Bonnie Lake Monroe, about an inch or so. Mineral, a little bit more than half an inch of snow. And that was the general trend of our Friday night, Saturday morning snow totals, is anywhere from around 1 inch, half an inch, up to 2 inches, give or take a little bit. Here's a look from Tacoma live right now as of 6 p.m. on Saturday, and we do see some raindrops there on the camera. Some rain is still sticking around as of right now, but we're pretty much done with the moisture. This is a loop of the last 12 hours, and I think this really shows where that snow set up early this morning. So let's let that play out. Here we go. Between about I-90 and Highway 2 early this morning is where that snow set up. We had a little bit of a break, and as of right now, we do have some lingering moisture out there. As of Saturday evening, we're keeping it between about Seattle and Tacoma, and it's very light in nature. We see mostly green out here, indicating that it is mostly rain, but kind of seeing a rain-snow mix as we head into the foothills. And then it does look like around the Kitsap Peninsula, we're starting to see a little bit of a rain-snow mix as of right now as well. But temperatures are still pretty far above freezing, so it's going to be pretty hard for any snow to stick with that round of moisture down to the south. We're in the mid to upper 30s in that area as of right now. So it'll try to snow, but it won't necessarily be successful. Speaking of temperatures, that's going to be one of the focuses as we look forward. We're going to cool things down and we're going to dry things out, like I just mentioned. So for tonight, we're holding on to these relatively warmer temperatures. So with these mid to upper 30s and this little bit of lingering moisture, we'll see some showers, maybe a wet snow trying to fall. And then into tomorrow morning, this is 8:30 a.m. A few light flurries could fly, but we're pretty much done with the moisture. A few lingering flurries tomorrow afternoon over the mountains, and then we're done. As we look forward, we're going to dry out and we're going to cool down. I want to focus in on our low temperatures as we head into this upcoming week. These are temperatures for the Seattle metro area, but many areas will be even colder than this. So we're really going to cool things down about 5 degrees into Monday morning, and then another 4 to 5 degrees into Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. Those look like our coldest mornings of the week. So it is going to be cold. Here's a look at what we're waking up to Sunday morning. This actually, relatively speaking, is going to be on the warmer side compared to what's to come beyond this. We'll see lows tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, in those upper 20s into the low 30s. Most of us will be below that freezing threshold, so it will be cold out there. But this, like I said, is nothing compared to what's to come. I will say, though, that as we look forward tomorrow and then in the coming days as well, we do have that lingering moisture out there, so we will continue to track that potential for icy roadways out there. Black ice is definitely going to be a concern for any Sunday morning travel. So if you are hitting the road Sunday morning, do be careful, because with these sub-freezing temperatures, it absolutely could be icy out there. We'll warm things up nicely into the day, though. Here's a look at our daytime highs for Sunday. Upper 30s into those low 40s. So pretty nice out there. And we'll actually see the sun peeking out as well. So it's a really nice afternoon into Sunday. This says Seattle, but this is true for just about everybody in Western Washington, this pattern that we see here from the Mediagram. So a really nice day for tomorrow. But now I want to look forward into Monday and specifically Tuesday as well. These are the 2 days that I'm keeping an eye on as far as our coldest conditions are concerned. What we're going to see is this ridge of high pressure that's going to set up into the first couple days of this upcoming week. So that's going to keep us nice and clear. But what happens when we see clear conditions, especially overnight, is they tend to be colder because cloud coverage overnight actually traps all of that air that just warmed during the day. So if we see cloud coverage, it keeps that daytime warmth in the atmosphere right there on the surface. But if we see clearing conditions, then all that warmth exits our area and it actually gets colder overnight. And that is the story as we head into the next couple of mornings. So here's a look at Monday morning's temperatures. This is going to be even colder. We're dancing around kind of the mid-20s for most of us, low to mid-20s, and we start to see some of those areas getting into the teens, especially up to the north. But I also want to point your attention to our higher elevations, to our passes. Look at Stevens, Snoqualmie, Paradise, White Pass. We're hovering around the single digits into the double digits as well, 10 degrees. But then we progress forward into Tuesday morning. Check this out. We're going to see even more teens on the map up to the north. We're going to reintroduce those teens down to the south as well. And then look at the passes. Stevens, White Pass looking at a low of 1 degree. Snoqualmie, Paradise, a low of 3 degrees. And that's just our air temperature. Factor in a little bit of a breeze that feels like temperature is going to make it feel a lot colder. So yes, it is going to be cold, downright cold the next couple of mornings. So that is the biggest thing that we're going to keep an eye on as we head into the next couple of days, is these clear but cold mornings that are heading our way through about midweek. It does look like as we head into Thursday and beyond into the weekend, we will bring back a little bit of moisture potential. So that will bring back the rain and the potential for low level snow as well. But I will say that as we look forward into these next couple of days or next weekend, this is going to be very similar to what we've seen this last week. When the moisture arrives is going to impact what form it falls in. If we see these showers moving through during the day, chances are with these daytime highs in the upper 30s, low 40s, it'll just be rain. We won't see that accumulating snow. But if we see these showers passing through overnight, when we see those temperatures still in the 20s and below freezing, then it absolutely could fall as snow at night. At this point, we're still multiple days out from this event, so we're not going to have a really clear idea of what time this moisture arrives. But as we keep cold temperatures and we bring back moisture into the equation, we certainly will keep an eye on the potential for that low level snow into next weekend. We'll keep an eye on that, but for now, our focus is going to be on these cold conditions to start our work week, something we will continue to keep an eye on. So be sure to stay with the King 5 weather team as we continue to track this cold start to your week.